Thank you, Senator.
I call Materia Turai.
Mr Chair, I would just start off by saying I agree with the Minister on two issues. One is that whānau order is working, and we know that from all of the stories. Even the Orders General set out some really clear stories of how the approach, which is long-term and wraparound and about the whānau as a whole, is making appreciable major differences in how whānau are operating and their wellness. There are issues about other parts of whānau order, the evaluation, how the money's been spent and administration, but the concept itself is working. And the worst thing we can do is attack it such that we lose the advantage of the great outcomes from this rethinking about how we deal with whānau as a whole. I also would agree with the Minister about education being such an important part of a young woman's way out of poverty. And I would urge her to reconsider then the benefit that both she and I received as young women with small babies on our own from what was then a very full training incentive allowance grant that allowed us to have more resources to pursue our education dreams. In my case, it was law school. Now, under the current situation with the training incentive allowance, women are simply not in the same position as I was able to 20 years ago to be able to access that level of education because resources are so tight. And so I'm absolutely 100% supportive of investing in the education of young women to improve their life outcomes. And I wish we could do more. I think we could do more if that was a genuine priority. So what I want to address tonight in just a few minutes is vote Māori development, and particularly around housing. So the Select Committee asked about housing when the Minister came before us. Because we know that housing is such a major issue for Māori, and the Minister did agree with that, agreed that Te Puni Kōkiri was preparing to take on more responsibility and leading on housing initiatives for Māori, and he assured us that the Ministry would be taking all possible efforts because housing is so closely tied to poverty. And I agree with this, that we need to make sure that we have secure housing, both rental housing but also home ownership for Māori, and that is a core way of making sure that whānau are secure and healthy in their own homes so that they can then pursue, their dreams for themselves and their kids. But, we have to be aware of the facts. We have the lowest Māori home ownership rate in this country in decades and decades, because of an erosion of support with a particular focus on the needs of Māori whānau when it comes to housing. According to the 2013 census, only 28% of Māori now own a home. That's half of the Pākehā rate. The Pākehā rate is around 57%. It is at the lowest end. I mean, it should not be getting any worse, but in fact it is eroding over time. The numbers of Māori in home ownership are declining. So when we asked about home ownership for the Minister, he also recognised these critical issues, said that there was more money for Te Puni Kōkiri to help whānau towards home ownership, but there were no firm plans by TPK for any house purchasing initiatives, it says here in the report. But in fact, there are some significant programs, and I just want to mention two of them, which is the Kāinga Whenua program, the infrastructure grants, and also the individual loans that are available. Now, the Kāinga Whenua has enormous potential. It enables whānau to build homes on or to move homes to collectively owned Māori land. So it's a way of us using land that we may not be able to put into productive use for housing in rural areas where it's so essentially needed, and good quality housing, properly insulated housing that has good heating, that's safe for whānau to live in. And so we need more of that. But at this time of highest need, we're seeing these funds, these programs, just not being promoted in such a way that whānau are accessing it. So in the year between July 2011 and August 2014, there were only 10 individual Kāinga Whenua loans. 10 in those 4 years. There was only one in the year previous. There's only been 3. 3 of those 10 have been this year. 3 individual loans to whānau looking to build on Māori land. It is not enough. Now, there have been Māori organisations getting involved with the Social Housing Fund and with the Kāinga Whenua infrastructure grants, but they are still too few.
I call Clayton Mitchell.
Very privileged to stand up on